Hey everybody, today is January the 20th and the first High School Musical turns 20 years old, so I thought it fitting to rank every single song in the best musical trilogy I've ever seen. I mean, I literally haven't seen any other musical trilogy, so the bar is pretty low. But I'm not considering the songs in a vacuum, but also how their scenes play out and how they add to the narratives. These are musical songs after all. And if you are wondering how I would rank the movies, from best to worst it goes 2, 1 and 3. And Sharpay is the best character. No, I will not be explaining myself. I also want to apologize in advance if a lot of this video sounds like I'm talking out of my ass and has wrong musical terminology, because despite vibing with music and musicals a lot, I don't actually know anything when it comes to music composition and songwriting. Finally, if you don't know the plots to these movies, stop lying to me. You know them already. You wouldn't have clicked on the video otherwise. Let's just get onto it with number 31.
There's 2 of them!
There's like a good 20-minute stretch in this first movie without any songs. And when there's finally one, it is When There Was Me and You. Yeah, this song sucks, and I'm pretty sure everyone agrees. It is so clear that this song is being sung by both Vanessa Hudgens and another performer, and the way their voices are spliced just sounds so bad. And it is even worse when it suddenly jumps from one voice to another.
Looking from the outside.
It's just so distracting. But I could overlook this issue if the song or scene themselves were any good. But, fun fact? No. This number is such a slog, so sappy and boring. Musically it's very generic and the lyrics are so forgettable. I'm writing this literally after watching the number and I already forgot. It's also connected to the worst part of the plot of this movie, that being Troy's and Gabriella's friends being the absolute worst and forcing the story into a misunderstanding plotline. So great. The only thing I like about this number is the giant Wildcats banner because it's just so funny to me.
Parker, you're late, man! Always late, huh?
I want to start this one by saying that Kelsey is literally the most talented person in these movies. That being said, what I've been looking for, specifically the reprise by Troy and Gabriella, is worse than the Sharpay and Ryan version, which I'll get to later. The song and scene are cute, but it is also one of the most unremarkable ones. It's so short and doesn't really have the impact it should. I enjoy how the both of them are more confident singing this one from the start compared to start of something new, as a good sign of how their relationship is progressing, but it's very low energy. Definitely one of the more forgettable and boring ones. And the scene itself doesn't help with how plain it is. Also, how did Miss Darbus hear them from the other side of the theater? They were singing very softly.
What the heck are those 2 doing in a tree?
Famously, the third movie had a much higher budget than the first 2, and that resulted in not only bigger musical numbers, but also a couple more of them, which has the unfortunate effect of making some of them feel like filler, and right here, right now, is exactly that. This one is sappy and boring, I'm sorry. It is a super generic romantic song and the setting of the scene is unremarkable. And the reason it feels so unnecessary to the movie is that there are other cute romantic numbers between these two that are way better. I can't hate it because it's cute enough and Zac Effron and Vanessa Hudgens give nice singing performances and they have nice chemistry as usual, but it is just so forgettable. The reprise is a little better, but it's also a minute long, so I'm not giving it its own entry, sorry.
Hi, I'm Helen.
And I'm Willie, and we're a fully heterosexual couple.
The reason I'm putting Just Wanna Be With You so low isn't so much because of the song or the scene themselves. Oh no. The reason this one is so low is because it partakes in the biggest character assassinations this third movie attempts. No, Ryan and Kelsey aren't a couple. This is blatant queer erasure. I'm convinced the only reason this plotline exists is because some executive at Disney saw I Don't Dance and how gay it was, and so they forced the holy child, Kenny Ortega, to make Ryan straight. I once had a very heated discussion with a couple of friends about this couple, and their argument was, oh, it's high school, queer people would get into beer relationships to pass as straight. And like, sure, if the movie was making a commentary of that situation, that would be really interesting, but it's not. It's supposed to be a full-on genuine straight relationship. I hate this, I really do. It doesn't even matter whether the song is good or not, because it just pisses me off. Thankfully, after the first chorus, it switches to an actual couple that isn't a sham, and from that point on, the scene is pretty cute and fun enough for me to not put it at the bottom, which I heavily considered. But yes, this second half is nice. I particularly like how we see Ryan teach Gabriella her choreography in real time. If the whole song was this, it would be a lot higher, let me tell you.
I'm talking about work.
You said the bad word.
Work this out existence kind of pisses me off. The whole conceit of this number is that Troy is trying to lift up his friends and motivate them. What got them so down, you may ask? They got told to do their jobs. That's it. That is what's got them so worked up. Troy literally got jobs for all of his friends, just out of the kindness of his heart, and because he wants to help them out. Like, dude, 10 minutes ago you were all stressed because you couldn't get worked, and on their first day they are already complaining. I get working isn't great all of the time, I complain sometimes too, but you literally just started out. And again, if what they got asked to do was like some insanely hard thing or super tiring, I would get it, but the scene beforehand when they all get their work explained is very normal. Sure, Mr. Fulton was somewhat rude when explaining it, but nothing too bad. Except when he made a mean fat joke to this girl, that was fucked.
Do complete the summer with the equal amount of digits I assume you currently possess.
And like, you get to work together too, by the way. I would imagine as a teenager, a summer job would be way more fun with all of your friends than by yourself. I hate Troy's friends, what else do they want? I'm so sorry, this song whole concept just gets me so worked up. How's the musical number itself though? Kind of boring, not gonna lie. The first half in particular is flat and plain, with all of it shot in a very straightforward manner. It only switches between a wide, two mediums and a close-up for Troy, so it ends up feeling pretty low energy, despite the upbeat rhythm. The lyrics are also fine, but they just bother me because this situation shouldn't even be a situation. Why are they even complaining? I do like the second half though. When they begin drumming on the plates and pots and kitchen tables, guys, this shit is hysterical. I love this moment in particular, it sounds awful. So yeah, this one has some good stuff in it, but the conceit of it bothers me so much that I can't say it's a good musical number. Literally the only character who's thankful for the opportunity is Zeke, proving once again that he is the best of all of them.
Took an ibuprofen in a pizza. Because my neck was kinda sore.
The start of something new is the first song in the trilogy, and the extras are so hilarious to me. Their initial excitement when someone is being picked, only to not give a shit about Troy and Gabriella while they sing, only to go batshit insane again during the second half, is perfection. This moment in which Troy takes off his jacket and everyone goes awooga is so charming to me. But my favorite part is how Gabriella is reading a book at the party. God, she's insufferable and I love her. But actually talking about the song, it's pretty cute. I think it's a solid number to start the movie that quickly establishes that these two and their romance will be the main focus of the movie. And I do really enjoy how they get more into the song as they sing, that's pretty nice. That being said, while the melody is nice and cute enough, it's not very memorable, and the same goes for the lyrics. Zac Effron famously did not actually sing the songs in this first movie, and I mostly don't mind, but in this first one the transition is just so jarring.
I gotta sing, I can't sing, no, God!
Living in my own world.
And also, what is with this moment?
It feels so right to be here with you.
It sounds like they mixed the audio differently or used a different voice recording. Even I would never do that. It sounds bad.
YOLO!
Every Day is pretty cute, and that's about it. The song itself is fine, but it just feels so generic, and it fails as a climax song. It just doesn't succeed that well when trying to encompass the movie's themes. Sure, it talks about living in the moment and whatnot, but the lyrics feel a little bit all over the place, and it doesn't help that musically it's a bit forgettable. But like I said, it's cute, and there's quite a few moments of the scene itself that I really like. I really love Gabriella's entrance in particular. I'm invested in this relationship, so it's very nice to see her come back. I also really like it when the rest of the cast joins in, especially when Troy helps Sharpay up. Honestly, Sharpay has the best arc in the second movie, and I hate that they reset her in the third one, which is one of the reasons the third one is the worst. But yeah, Every Day is cute, but nothing outstanding, especially for the climax.
Oh, yeah.
If it is a staff-only party, why are there a bunch of preteens at it? Does the resort employ them? Did the main cast invite them because they are their friends? If so, why are they their friends? Why are they hanging out with a bunch of 12-year-olds? They are 17. Why is Miley Cyrus here doing a random ass cameo? Is she Miley Cyrus in universe? Or she's just playing a random girl at the party? Is she part of the staff too? If so, why did we never see her throughout the movie? Why is the ending to this song and movie so awkward? Why didn't they cut the shot a little earlier? What is Chad's "I just look like him" t-shirt referring to? Who is he supposed to look like? If it sounds like I'm avoiding talking about All for One, it's because I am. I don't have much to say. It is fun and energetic enough, but it does feel like a pretty generic celebration song. But still, it's a lot better than having a random licensed pop song during the dance party at the end, like most family movies. And the best part of the number is the boys versus girls part. I genuinely really enjoyed that beat. This one is fun enough.
Just like a showdown, we'll split the Bobby De Niro.
The Boys Are Back is the most random ass and unnecessary musical number in the whole trilogy, and that's saying a lot. Nothing about this song is relevant to anything. Like, the dialogue prior to it may make you think that the song will be about staying true to yourself and making your own decisions, but actually, no! The song is actually about some bullshit, I honestly don't know. That being said, I really enjoyed this number in a vacuum. It's so silly and out there, and there's a lot of really great visuals. I particularly like their silhouettes behind the colored glasses, and this group of guys holding car parts, that their little kids' versions imagine as a monster. Oh yeah, there's a part with the kids' version of them, and I genuinely love it, it's adorable. The number simply has a lot of great energy to it, especially with some of the choreography. Except for this one, like, come on Chad, couldn't you lift him a little bit higher? So yeah, even though this one is completely pointless, the music is snappy, the dancing is dynamic, and they do a ton of fun stuff with the setting.
And we'll do that together too.
I Know We're All In This Together is the most iconic song from this movie, and I hate to be a contrarian, but this one isn't great. Not bad either though. Here's the thing. The song and Seen in a Vacuum are pretty good. I particularly like the really over-the-top and iconic choreography. The song itself is fun and catchy enough, but the issue with this number is that it feels like a credits song. It feels tacked onto the movie, especially after Breaking Free, which is a really great climax song, which covers similar themes as well. It is very much a big song for the audience, rather than one that serves a narrative purpose. It almost feels as a mandate, because we need to have a big dance party at the end of the movie, because it's a kids movie, you know? With that being said, I still do like it in a vacuum. And like I said earlier, it's a lot better than getting a generic licensed song like every other family movie. Also, the remix in the third movie is whatever. I don't feel like giving it its own entry, sorry.
Siblings are dating.
Where do these movies get the gall to treat Sharpay and Ryan as the villains, when all they wanted to do was protect their little gay music club and every song they have is flawless? Miss Darbus loves them for a reason, and she's right, damn it! What I've been looking for is their weakest entry, and it still is a banger, and so much better than the original. Sorry, Kelsey. I love Ryan and Sharpay in this scene, so smug and full of themselves. Their constant smiling looks insane, it is amazing. The song has such a fun vibe to it, and their performances are a big part of why the scene works, because it is admittedly one of the simpler numbers in the whole trilogy, which leads to my biggest issue with it, and that's the scene itself. Yeah, it's a little sauceless. I get they had a small budget to work with, so I don't mind having less showy numbers every once in a while, but it is filmed and edited in a very plain way that doesn't really match the fun rhythm of the song. But still, the song and the lyrics themselves are really fun and catchy, and I like both performances a lot.
I gotta go. What? I got to go.
I really love this line.
I'm a lot better at goodbyes than you.
So cheeky and self-aware. Walk Away is the last entry in the Gabriela is Sad trilogy, and this one is interesting to talk about. I think Vanessa Hudgens gives a very nice vocal performance, and I really like that plot-wise, this one is a little more subdued than the other two Sad Gabriela songs. It isn't about a painful betrayal or a huge breakup, it's more so about coming to terms with the future, and that things cannot stay the same forever, no matter how much we want them to. It is surprisingly mature. Sadly, it ends up falling short of those ideas. Quite literally, it is a very short song. More importantly, I wish the execution was more interesting, and that I was more invested in what's actually going on. Because yes, even though I really like the theme and tone of the song, the lyrics aren't the most memorable, and the staging and directing of the scene also feels a bit flat. Musically, I do like it quite a bit, especially when the whole band enters at the first chorus, but it still isn't as good as some of the others. More so than any other song in the trilogy, this one feels like wasted potential. I think there's a very powerful core at the center of this number, but sadly the execution doesn't live up to it.
Later.
At first, You Are the Music in Me feels like I'm watching the What I've Been Looking For scene all over again. They start exactly the same, with Kelsey trying to convince Troy and Gabriela into singing, and they accept, but both of them being very timid at first, and guided by Kelsey, before getting more into the song. But unlike what I've been looking for, they actually do a lot more with the filmmaking in this scene, despite being restricted to the small space. It's great how it gets progressively more energetic, matching the song and both of the singing performances. And even though I like the reprise a lot more, as you'll see later, I do enjoy the song a lot in this one, musically and lyrically. It is a very good song, in a way that feels fraternal more than strictly romantic, especially with the rest of the characters joining in later. I remember this one as boring, and I was pleasantly surprised with it on rewatch. I do find it very distracting how they just stop looking at the music sheet after the first verse. How did they know how the rest of the song goes? Whatever, those kinds of silly and nonsensical details are certainly part of the charm of these movies. Though why are Troy's pants down? Dude, they are going to fall. Now or Never is the first song of the third movie, and it is, for the most part, a really solid number to start off the movie. The song itself I actually really enjoy, especially musically. It kind of reminds me of the Backstreet Boys, with its funky boy band style. Lyrically, it's not very deep by any means, but I do think they flow pretty nicely. I particularly like the beginning with the constant repeating of the words 16 minutes, which is also just a very fun premise for the song. That being said, my biggest issue with this number is that it doesn't feel like it's part of a musical. There's very little singing in the scene, as well as very little choreography, which is kind of disappointing, because imagine how cool it could have been if the basketball match played out more like a dance routine. The song ends up feeling almost like a background track for the basketball game, especially with how chopped it is by dialogue moments. And added to that, there's a couple of silly moments that really take me out of the intensity of the number. Like Rocketman's role in the scene, which I could say for his role in the whole movie, to be honest, I hate this character. And most importantly, this. At least the Gabriela moment is hysterical, oh my god.
I just love Latinas, Sonic.
What?
Adios, amigo.
I was watching the first movie and the Bob to the Top scene came, and I was jamming to it, because it is amazing. And then it got away from it twice? Movie, what are you doing? I'm going to ignore that ever happened, and I'm just going to look at the uncut number, like it should be. So disrespectful towards Sharpay and Ryan, I swear to god. This song rules, dude. One of the most energetic and fun melodies in the whole movie. The lyrics are kind of empty, with parts of it being just random sounds, but they are extremely catchy nonetheless. This is by far one of my favorite songs to sing along. Their little Spanish words interventions are incredible as well.
Caliente!
Suave!
Gabriela may be an actual Latina character, but Sharpay was more Latina in this scene than Gabriela was in the whole trilogy. Hell yeah, I love it when Sharpay appropriates another cultures. I really love that I can make that joke, because it happens again, dude, holy shit. I don't have much more to say about this one. It's not very relevant to the movie beyond being another showcase of Ryan and Sharpay's personalities, and also their callback audition, but it is just so much fun. What Time Is It is the first song of High School Musical 2, and you can tell they had a considerably higher budget this time around, because this number is batshit insane. The beginning is genuinely so off-putting, with all of the kids chanting the word summer as if they are in a cult, and Troy is justifiably terrified. There's so many details in this one that I can't stop thinking about. Chad's I majored in vacation t-shirt, how Taylor already has a suitcase ready while in school, Jason who fell asleep 2 seconds after asking a question, the choreography centered around basketballs, just in case you forgot these movies are about basketball, and this random slide Troy does at the end. Why is he like this? God, I love him and this movie. But seriously speaking, I do really like this scene. I think the energy of it is great, and all of the choreographies in it are really nice. Even the random basketballs one. I particularly like this dolly shot with the kids doing this pop-up line. It's genuinely really cool. They very successfully established the tone of this movie, and also the fact that they actually had a budget this time around. The scene really captures that young feeling of summer vacation arriving, in all of its over-the-top ridiculousness. The song itself isn't as good as the scene though. It's fine enough, but it just feels like a very generic happy celebration song. It's definitely one of the least memorable ones musically, but especially lyrically. I do really like Sharpay's part though. She's the best, as she always is. But who cares if the song is kinda weak, dude? It still is a really great way to start the movie off. We are halfway through the ranking, so it seems like a good time to talk about this video's sponsor. Have you ever wanted to have a therapy service which is part of the stock market? Because it is definitely not a neoliberal nightmare to have a therapy service be part of the stock market? Well, in that case, you'll love very moral and good quality online therapy service. BetterMentalHealth.com is a therapy service that matches you very thoughtfully with a professional who is right for you. Ignore this text in their terms of service, it doesn't mean anything. Are you depressed? Have you considered stopping that? If that's the kind of great advice you need in your life, Totally Legit Help is exactly what you're looking for. They totally won't sell your personal data, don't stress about it. So, if you have depression or some other embarrassing mental illness like that, you have to use BH therapy. And BH isn't referencing anything, by the way. You can trust me on this, I'm a YouTuber, and I've definitely used the service myself, trust me.
This the remix.
I wasn't sure if I should count this one, but whatever, I'll give it its own entry. Senior Year Spring Musical, as the name implies, is the musical show they put at the end of the third movie. And while it has some new lyrics and music, for the most part it is remixes and reprises of some of the songs of the movie. And usually I wouldn't like that, but I mean, look at the title of the franchise, High School Musical. It makes sense to see a musical that incorporates songs of the movie. And we see them work on them throughout the movie, so I don't mind. I really enjoy these multiple musical numbers. It feels like a neat celebration of the movie and the characters themselves. It is a lot of fun. It's not perfect, I hate the role of Rocketman and this British girl, but to be honest, it is because I hate their characters. And again, it doesn't do much new, but it doesn't really need to, and it's enjoyable enough. Breaking Free is the climax song of the first movie, and I originally thought of this one as just okay, but rewatching it, I don't know what I was on, because this is really good. The lyrics are a perfect summation of the movie's themes and arcs, while remaining iconic and catchy. I love the transition from its softness to the exciting tone of it after the first verse. Musically, I really love it as well. It feels super triumphant. As a scene, it is also the best filmed one and with the best choreography when it comes to those that are performed on a stage, at least for the first movie. It's nothing insane, but I think the camera work and editing have a really great energy to them. It also manages to simultaneously be very sweet. Zac Effron and Vanessa Hudgens have really great chemistry in this number. In particular, I really love how before they perform the song, Vanessa's nervousness is getting to her and Troy tells her to look at him instead of the audience. That is genuinely so cute. These movies generally have such a good romantic relationship at their center. Honestly, one of the better ones in Disney movies. Breaking Free is great, and iconic for a good reason.
He said it! He said it!
Holy shit, everybody! They said it! They said the name of the movie! High School Musical is the last song of the third movie, and in the tradition of being the last song, it is a celebration musical number, and it is by far the best one. And that is mainly because this one actually feels right. It isn't a big number for the audience, it is for the characters themselves. Like yeah, they just finished high school, why shouldn't they have a big celebration? Beyond that, I like how this one fits into the ending. It is simply too entertaining. Both the directing and choreography are super dynamic and energetic. The group dancing looks really great in this one, especially with the flowy graduation gowns. I particularly love this wavy-like dance move they do all together. It is very neat. The lyrics aren't anything crazy, they are a bit repetitive even, but I do love the music. I have the scene in my second monitor as I'm writing this, and I kid you not, I'm moving my head along to the music. It is such a bop. I really enjoyed this one, an extremely fun celebration song that ends the movie and trilogy in a really nice and high note. I do hate it that it keeps going after the freeze frame though. I feel so uncomfortable when they look directly at the camera. I feel as if they're staring into my soul. Please stop.
Cue the sun.
Can I Have This Dance is like right here, right now, but actually good. What makes this one work for me is that it's actually pretty dang romantic. Most about it works for this end. The lyrics, while a little forgettable, are passionate enough. Zac Effron and Vanessa Hudgens as usual have really great chemistry. The setting of the private garden is really vast and beautiful. And most importantly, for a musical number with the word dance in its name, the dancing is really great and delightful. The choreography is genuinely very strong in this one. It just flows so perfectly, and it is extremely well complemented with the smooth and soft way the camera follows them around the rooftop. The song can be a bit too sappy and corny for my taste, especially with some of its more over-the-top elements, like the rain at the end. But who cares? It is very cute, and I found myself pleasantly surprised with it on rewatch. Another one for my music playlist.
Wow, these fireworks sure are something, huh? Yeah, man.
I hope he can't tell that I'm actually not that impressed by fireworks. This is so stupid.
If Sharpay is so bad, why does she improve everything she touches? Once again, I'm sorry Kelsey, but the reprise of You Are the Music in Me by Sharpay is so much better than the original. I know this was meant to be a cute song, but I don't care, because musically this is such an improvement. Extremely fun, with much better use of the instrumentation and an undeniable great energy to it. Sharpay made the right call when she told Kelsey,
Oh, again, grind up the tempo. We'll need to keep people awake.
I could totally group to this. And beyond the comparison, this one really is a pop. Sharpay's vocal performance is really good, and Troy, even with his reluctance, also gives a very nice performance. I really like it how he comes in with the This is another song in this trilogy that I unironically have on my playlist, simply a banger, and the scene is also amazing. Troy's utter fear throughout the scene is such a mood, man. I cackle every time the fireworks go off and he flinches, it is incredible, and Sharpay's overexcitedness plays off of his fear extremely well. A total maniac, and caring of what their singing partner may be going through, only caring about her performance and the spectacle of the show. Total banger.
Basketball, basketball, we love basketball.
The way these movies use the musical number as a narrative device is so deliciously inconsistent. Some of them are very clearly happening in universe, like the ones they perform at actual shows. Some of them are solo numbers that could totally be sung by the characters in universe. Some of them feel like they are happening, but we, as an audience, are only seeing a more exaggerated version. And some seem to be only internal. And when it comes to get your head in the game, it exists in all of these realms at once. This scene is fascinating to me, because there are moments that are very clearly just Troy thinking about his internal struggle. Others feel like a middle point, and there's others that definitely feel like the actual basketball practice. What is the reality in which this song exists? I'm going insane! Why does Troy have this song as his ringtone in High School Musical 2? What does it all mean? Whatever, it doesn't matter, because this song is a banger and it goes incredibly hard. I really love how it begins with the sounds of the basketball practice. It has a really fun energy to the rhythm from the very beginning, and it leads nicely into a really cool melody. Like that instrumental part after Troy's interlude is so funky. The choreography centered around the basketball practice complements it really well, and it is just so much fun. It has all of the charms of a boys-only choreography presentation in high school. Complimentary. But the real strength of this song is the lyrics. It's not that deep though, I just find them to be so damn catchy, you know? The chorus in particular is so iconic and engraved into my head. This song and this scene are insane, and I love it.
Oh my goodness, I'll be right up. Homer, I gotta go upstairs, there's a problem. Somebody ate part of my lunch.
Stick to the Status Quo perfectly presents the main conflict and theme of the first movie. Teenagers wanting to do something else that they are expected, and the status quo swiftly stopping them. And it mostly presents itself as their friends, who have been so conditioned to try to fit in, they let go of their true selves, incapable of accepting whenever someone else tries to escape the mold and become a better, more genuine version of themselves. All cinema is political, and High School Musical is no different. What was I talking about? Oh right, stick to the status quo. Yeah, this song and scene is a banger, and I vibe so much with it. I just love that nobody has food in this scene. Like, aren't they at lunch? Even before they start jumping on tables, at best there's only 4 lunches in a table with 8 people. God, I love this movie. Sorry, I keep getting distracted. I genuinely love the concept for this song, with different background characters expressing their true desires, only for those around them to try and shut them down. And each of their solo parts are so funny. Six Creme Brulee is iconic, This Guys Is That Even Legal is so quotable, and cello playing guy is the best extra, especially when you actually see him with the cello later in the song. And as a little aside, Six actor Chris Warren has such an incredible voice here. I've never noticed it until this rewatch. The choreography of the whole scene is also so much fun, and for a movie with a low budget, it is low-key impressive. They all seem very well coordinated, and this one was one of the few scenes in the first movie that I didn't see any extra doing random awkward bullshit, and I looked for it. What else can I say? All of the lyrics are iconic, the verses, interludes, and especially the chorus, and the scene and song just have such a great and dynamic energy to them. I really love this one.
Mom, can you pick me up? I'm scared.
Gotta Go My Own Way is the best Gorilla song by a landslide. I mean, the competition isn't great, but still, definitely one of the most emotional musical numbers in all 3 movies. And I'll be honest, it totally works. It does get me a little emotional. Like I said already, I think the relationship between Troy and Gabriella is very sweet and genuine, so I'm actually pretty invested in the song about their breakup, even if you totally know they'll get back together by the end. And since you understand where Gabriella is coming from, the lyrics are that much more effective. Like sure, these movies are silly and all that, but I do genuinely feel what the lyrics want me to feel in this one. It's surprisingly mature for a movie of this type, presenting a breakup that, while amicable, is also very painful and born out of a real necessity to be better off. And the lyrics are bolstered by a really great vocal performance and just a great performance in general. I think Vanessa Hudgens really kills it in this scene, especially during the chorus. And Zac Effron is really good in his supportive presence. I really like how he joins the song after the second chorus. That back and forth between the two is iconic for a reason.
What about everything we've been through? What about trust?
Because of all of that, I don't even mind that this one is on the simpler side when it comes to the filmmaking. It totally works, and it doesn't need to be as flashy as some of the other musical numbers. I do have some issues with this scene, though they are small. Since this one is one of the few songs in this trilogy that I feel is truly emotional, some of the silly details really distract me. I just find it so funny that Gabriela has to be picked up by her mom at the end of the scene. I know she's a teenager, it's okay that someone is picking her up, it just looks so silly to me. And the funniest moment in this scene, which shouldn't have funny moments, is the fucking T as in Troy pendant. Oh my god! Why did he gift her a T-shaped pendant? What a psychopath! So yeah, a genuinely emotional musical number that also manages to be a total banger.
Coolness. So we'll see you tomorrow.
On Wednesdays, we wear pink.
When I say Sharpay is my favorite character, it's because of shit like this. Fabulous is so good, you guys. The over-the-top service and adoration for Sharpay is so entertaining to watch, and I love the execution of that idea in this musical number. The lyrics about the imported products are so funny, the choreographies with her at the center are genuinely incredible. In particular, I love this pull-away shot, and oh my god, the fucking pianist. Guys, this is the private pianist they mentioned in the first movie. He has to be. Just seeing him with this ridiculous pink piano while in the water makes me laugh so hard. I love this guy. But most of all, this is one of the better songs in all three movies. It is such a bop, dude. The lyrics aren't very deep or significant, obviously, but they are some of the most catchy ones in the whole trilogy. And I adore the way the song flows, it's just so good, man. Whenever this song comes up in my playlist, I actually sing along. Like, guys, it's so good. I love Fabulous. I love this musical number about Sharpay's ridiculous lifestyle. It's just so damn catchy and entertaining.
Or here's McLovin, the 25-year-old Hawaiian organ donor.
Okay, everybody, get prepared, because we're rapidly approaching peak. Humu humu nuku nuku. Humu humu nuku. Fuck, this is shit. Humu humu nuku nuku amu. How the fuck do you pronounce this? Humu Humu Nuku Nuku Amu Wapa is fucking insane, and I adore it. This whole musical number is a fever dream. You know how Troy is incapable of processing what's going on? That was me the first time I watched this. This is Lynchian filmmaking and storytelling. A journey into a nightmare, a descent into madness. Everything about this scene is perfect, and I cannot take my eyes off of it. I know I joked about the filmmaking, but the movie really makes you feel as if you're in Troy's shoes. I feel paralyzed watching this, in absolute awe of the fact that it's even happening. The beginning, with Mr. Fulton escorting him in the dark to his throne, truly makes me dread what is coming next. I can't, guys, I just can't. I cannot believe they originally cut this number from the movie. This scene is so pivotal to everything else in it, a crucial moment in the story. Ryan's and Sharpay's performances here are so over the top and unhinged, it's incredible. How did they even come up with this song in universe? Did they commission someone else to write it? Why did Sharpay thought this song was going to be the one to convince Troy to sing with her? Oh my fucking god, I love this so much. I love Ryan's pouting near the end when he realizes his usual role has been given to Troy. I love the change in lighting and practical effects by Ryan. I love this number, it's just so campy and funny. The lyrics aren't great in the traditional sense, obviously. I'm not actually invested in the story of the Fish Prince, but I am invested in how much Ryan and Sharpay clearly care about going all out with their presentation. And while musically this one is at best fun enough and at worst culturally insensitive, I just don't give a shit. I vibe to this song so hard. This one is an absolute banger and the scene is just perfect. Like, what else can I say? Fabulous may be a more straightforward representation of Sharpay as a character, but this one, this is what she's actually all about. Just straight batshit love for spectacle. This one is incredible, and I won't hear otherwise. Oh, that was a rant.
It's prom. It's prom. I'm taking you to the prom.
The thing about A Night to Remember is that it's just really damn good and catchy. One aspect I often see that people like about the third movie is that they actually put on a high school musical, and I agree, especially since that plotline gave us this banger. Everything about it just perfectly comes together. First off, the production value is really impressive, especially since this is meant to be a school production. Like, I knew this high school was rich, but damn man, the sets, costumes, and particularly the lighting work have a lot of charm to them. Musically, this one is just so fun and groovy, a total bop. And lyrically, it is one of the most memorable and catchy ones in the whole trilogy, and it perfectly captures the excitement, anxiousness, and eagerness of the characters. I love how the multiple voices come together on this one. It all fits very naturally and nicely, but the biggest accomplishment of this number is the choreography. There are so many great moments in it, like the 4 guys coming out of the dressers, this tapping of feet, and of course the big group dance near the end. What can I really say? It's just great.
I'm not gay, if that's what you're saying.
I didn't say that.
I'm not a homosexual.
This is queer cinema. Challengers don't got shit on I Don't Dance. I swear to God, the sexual tension in this scene is so off the charts that it has taken physical form. Somehow Disney movies were more supportive of queer people when they weren't actively trying to do so. It's almost as if most of their support during the late 2010s didn't come from a genuine place, but rather from greed and just wanting to get more people to give them their money. It's almost like that, because it is like that. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the song with a confused sexuality. At this point, it isn't even subtext. Chad may just be saying, "Stop, I'm not gay," each time he says, "I don't dance." They literally changed their outfits afterwards. Events certainly transpired off screen. This song is very obviously about Chad struggling to come to terms with his bisexuality, with Ryan edging him on, incentivizing him to accept himself for who he is, just as he himself has done. But beyond the pretentious, yet very valid and real, subtextual reading of this number is just so much fun, you guys. The lyrics of I Don't Dance are so catchy and iconic. The chorus in particular is great, it has a really nice flow to it. I love both of the main vocal performances here, and all of the choreography based around baseball is so much fun, which is insane to say, because baseball is one of the most boring sports to look at. I particularly love it towards the second half, where the baseball game itself becomes the dance choreography. It's really entertaining to watch and the whole number has a great dynamic energy to it. Same goes for the camera work and editing. This particular moment with the cat and camera following the baseball is really cool. I know this isn't anything insane, but it's so much better than most live-action kids movies, and you can tell that they really put effort into making it as visually entertaining as possible. What else can I say about the gayest musical number in cinema history? A gay time all around.
I want to be great or nothing.
I'm kind of speechless. This may sound like a bit, but I'm fully serious when I say that I Want It All is an achievement. This musical number is insane, and I love how it builds. At first it seems pretty standard, while nice and fun enough. The choreography with the backup dancers around Sharpay and Ryan is pretty cool, and I like how the song is about Sharpay trying to convince Ryan of their future success, with him not being that convinced at first. And then the camera faces the other side, where the dining hall has become much more flashy and show-like, and it is after the first chorus that the scene really transforms. I love how Sharpay's fantasy gets more and more detailed. I love how other members of the cast become part of it, being bodyguards, adoring fans, flight attendants, etc. In particular, I love Troy's role in it. The fact that Sharpay turned him into a desperate fan is so funny to me. She's a psychopath and I love her. After the red carpet section comes multiple changing sets, and I just adore this whole part. I find the idea of the constant changing of sets so charming, in particular the taxi that then turns into Sharpay's dressing room. And afterwards comes the most transcendent moment in this whole movie, maybe the whole trilogy. The I Want It All bridge is enthralling. It's almost hypnotic the way it builds up, being whispered at first, slowly becoming louder and louder, until it finally leads into the final chorus. Oh man, it is glorious. The choreography that accompanies it just adds to this captivating feeling that the bridge has, especially with the way it gets faster and more energetic alongside the music, and the lighting work brings it all together. It is straightforward, but I just love the red background and the way it plays with the spotlight, and it concludes with a really fun and great final chorus that goes as big and as showy as possible, a perfect encapsulation of the song and these two characters. I genuinely find the production level on this scene to be astounding. It is by far the most showy and biggest scene in the whole trilogy, but it has a plastic look to it, which may sound like a criticism, but I think it fits extremely well, considering we are talking about Sharpay. And one aspect I think is great about this number is that it always remains inside the dining hall. What probably was a production restriction really elevates the concept that all of this is Sharpay's delusion, in particular the delusion of someone who doesn't know more than her own high school. I know I sound insane trying to analyze this scene so much, but I genuinely find it really great and impressive, and it is simply a banger, and yet there are two numbers I like even more.
Okay, stop, giggle, stop. 17 black.
Oh my god, it's happening, it's finally happening. I get to talk about the best song in the whole trilogy. Bet on It is transcendent. And I mean that. This is not a bait. Everything about it just works for me, in all of its unhinged glory. The extremely cursed reflection on the water, or how there are golf clubs in the middle of nowhere, just lend themselves to the heightened sense of reality this number has. which is even more noticeable with how the scene looks. The colors in this whole movie are very saturated, but I feel like they dialed them up to 100 here. Just look at the grass, this green is radioactive. But I do genuinely really like the exaggerated look and feel of everything. It fits extremely well for this musical number. This is basically a crash out turned into an internal revelation. It needs to be as hidden as possible. Despite the simplicity of the location, they do a lot with the editing and camera work, with the obvious focus being Troy. The low angle shots are very effective, especially this one after he jumps, tilting up as he rises back up again. That's the stuff! Lyrically and musically, it is a banger. Like I said, my favorite song in the whole trilogy. Yes, the lyrics are overly dramatic, but they have such an honest charm to them. Listening to this teenager sing about losing himself and then finding himself once again is genuinely inspiring to me. And let's cut the crap, it's just so much fun, catchy and lively. But I feel talking about one aspect of this scene, because it is what really makes it all work. Zac Efron's performance here is so over the top, delightful and deranged that it becomes incredible. Just the exaggerated way he moves is out of this world. You could argue this is all in his head or an exaggeration of what's really happening, but I like to believe that the character is in such deep emotional turmoil that he's actually doing all of this. His vocal performance is similarly intense, while still sounding really good. You can tell he really gave everything he had for this scene. And sure, it looks silly at times, but it is also so charming and glorious. Bet on it fucking rules. There really is no song like this one in the whole trilogy. But you may notice it is only a number 2, and that's because, even though it is my favorite song in a vacuum, the scene in which they exist are just as important, and there's one musical number that I like even more in its totality. When rewatching the third movie, I actually got chills during the Scream musical number. Everything about this number perfectly comes together to present the ultimate crash out. I love the overly dramatic light work, simulating the lightning storm right outside the school. Yes, it is extremely exaggerated, but I think it perfectly fits the emotion of the song, which is also meant to be overly dramatic and exaggerated. The same goes for some of the more showy visual elements of the scene. The rain of CGI basketballs is Troy's pure insanity. The ridiculously large banner of Troy playing basketball is a beautiful representation of how he cannot escape the image the world has of him. And oh my god, the rotating hallway. Guys, I cannot express how much I love the rotating hallway. They didn't need to do this, they didn't need to go this hard, but they did. Kenny Ortega, I love you and everything you do. An immaculate portrayal of how this character feels, with his own familiar world being turned upside down and him being lost in it. The choreography while inside this rotating set is genuinely impressive. The physicality displayed by Zac Effron here is astounding, and the same goes for his movement in the whole number really. His performance is really over the top, but simultaneously so believable. I don't doubt for a single second that this is how Troy is feeling internally. I swear to god, I can see Zac Efron's soul. This shit is so peak. And thankfully, the lyrics and the music live up to the scene itself. Every single line here is engraved in my head. All of it is incredible, but I particularly love the second verse and the chorus. They both are a perfect encapsulation of everything that Troy goes through in these movies. The lyrics strike a beautiful balance between being articulate and being something that feels like he's venting out. The music has the same feeling to it, perfectly going along the text of the lyrics. It is melodic and charming, while simultaneously intense, loud, and overly dramatic. The instrumental portion before the last chorus goes so insanely hard. I love this song, it is amazing. Everything about it works. Scream is, without a doubt, the best scene in all 3 movies, and my favorite musical number in the whole trilogy. So, that's the list. Let me know in the comments which song is your favorite. I honestly have no idea what people's opinions are on these songs. It's not like there's a very active conversation around them nowadays. Even though they can be silly and dumb and cliché, I genuinely enjoy these movies. And so many of the songs I can confidently say are bangers. What can I say? High School Musical is the gift that keeps on giving. And I thank you, Mr. Kenny Ortega. Okay, that's it. Subscribe and all that stuff. Happy High School Musical Day, everybody.